So last time I talked about what I was trying to achieve through making Roopit and Boopit. With this part, I'll make it my last. I'll wrap up what I've learnt and what I'm going to do differently for the next game I try and make. The first thing I learnt was about graphics, so they're more important than I first thought. I focused a lot on making the mechanics fun and the levels fun and the puzzles interesting, but people don't actually get to try that stuff out unless they download your game in the first place, and the graphics play a big part in that. So graphics is just as much about marketing as it is about just having it for your game, for just enjoying the game itself. I also learnt how hard it is to get the word out about your own creation to people. Like, just relying on one or two websites like I was, it only gets you so far. So I've had to branch out into a lot of different platforms that I'd never used before and didn't really want to use in the case of some of them. But yeah, since starting this project, I've made a Reddit account, a Twitter account, Game Jolt account, a website called Roast My Game, TIG Source and itch.io, obviously, a website called IndieDB, and of course this YouTube channel. So yeah, it seems like marketing is about slowly growing your audience over all these different platforms, rather than just sort of making one post about something and having all these people see it and then click it and come to your game. It's like you have to sort of soak into the community. Like, you have to keep repeating yourself a lot. You have to keep putting things out there a lot, and yeah, it really is just about putting reps in rather than just like putting one thing out there and like, oh, this is the thing where people will find my game. It doesn't really work like that. I've realized through making this game just how many different skills a solo game developer actually has to have. So I thought myself pretty good at designing like fun mechanics and levels and puzzles and ideas for stuff like that, but that is nowhere near enough. You also have to know a lot about art and not just like be able to draw something. You have, like I said before, the graphics actually have to be good, like quite good. So you have to be quite good at art. You have to know more about programming than I do. So I got through the programming mostly by myself without too much outside help. But I was doing it in a very noob-like way, which I think for a bigger game I'd start tripping over myself with the way I programmed. Marketing. So like, there's so much different things you have to know about marketing. Like I said, I had to learn all these different websites. I'd never used something like Twitter or Reddit before. You have to learn how to make videos for marketing. Like, yeah, you have to learn how to edit things. There's a lot involved. And yeah, make GIFs, make sound effects, and eventually I'll probably have to make my own music. I didn't for this one, but like, yeah, that's another thing you might have to know as well. So I found a new respect for someone that can do all of this stuff, and then at the end of it, have their creation, like, make a living off their own work. That's very impressive to me. So for the next game I'm working on, I'm going to try and get the graphics sorted out before I start actually building the framework of the game. So I don't want to have to go through and change all the sprites over and over again like I did for Roopit and Boopit. Another thing I'll be doing is I'll be basing the framework of the game on a tutorial I found online. So you've probably heard of a guy called Sean Spalding. I'll leave a link in the description to the tutorial that I'm talking about, but I think I'm going to use that as the framework to build my next game on, just so I don't end up spilling my spaghetti code all over my shiny new project. Yeah, hopefully that will make it a lot easier to manage in the long run, especially if it's going to be bigger than Roopit and Boopit. So anyway, that pretty much does it for this series on the story for Roopit and Boopit. Like and subscribe if you want me to keep making stuff like this. Talk to me in the comments, I'll talk to you about anything. I also don't mind playing your games or someone else's games. If you want feedback on them, like, I'll make a video about it for sure. And that's all, so have fun.